Okay.
All right, hey guys,
The
what's
killer
up?
bees.
We did not mean to disconnect. Someone out with the OBS. All right, back to what we were saying. Chris Boswell, Killer Bees. Caden's really excited about it.
Most definitely.
Still
Chris
onto the
Bob.
topic of sports. Hang on, give me a sec. We have Deshaun Watson getting a 6-game suspension for the first 6 games of the NFL season. It's not looking good for the Browns. They should not have gotten rid of Baker Mayfield. They shouldn't have.
I mean, like that was my
Baker
career,
Baker was a really reliable quarterback.
especially on fake plays too.
The fake plays were really good. But I feel
It
like it's
was.
just like the way they handled the situation. If they wanted to keep Baker, they didn't have to disrespect him the way they did.
They shouldn't. Because of Baker, they went to the playoffs, and that was the last time. Like, I believe that 2020 that's gonna be the last playoff playoff run they're ever gonna be because Deshaun Washington, the only player they have on there is Amari Cooper.
Yeah, and he came from the Cowboys, and he had a good year. Kind of, he had like almost 1,000 yards, if not 1,000. But at the same time, it's just like, how are you gonna like have your trust in a quarterback that like does this,
That
even
you
though
really
he
disrespected.
and like here's the thing, he might have been proven innocent in court, but he might have actually done it. And I feel like they should like do extensive investigations after the case is finished just to make sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Cuz
know
like
people lie your face free.
yeah, like a lot like on like what Caden said, people lie to your face. And I just feel like if a murderer who actually like murdered someone gets away with it in court, that's upsetting not only to the family but like to their wallets. They hired a lawyer. They spent a lot of money like arranging a funeral and stuff. And I feel like just because you're like proven innocent in court doesn't mean you didn't actually do it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Cuz like
And
right
especially
now,
though,
continue.
so technically, like when you go to court and you lie, you're technically not lying to the your judge. You're technically lying to your heart because lying to
Yeah,
your heart would betray you.
cuz there's a quote, I don't know who it came from, but it's like some like your greatest enemy is yourself and no one knows you like your heart does or something like that.
Yes,
Some stupid
yes.
stuff like that. But I still feel like Deshaun Watson should get a 2-year suspension because as even though he was proven innocent, I still feel like he should at least get a 17-game suspension, and if they make the playoffs, keep him suspended until next season. Because now the
Yeah,
Browns are technically rendered useless because they made all this hard work for a quarterback and they let go of their franchise QB. He was hailed as the savior of Cleveland. Cleveland.
most definitely. Most definitely.
And the Browns, for the most part, were always trash. They
For
went
some, for
0
like
and
20 years.
17 for 20 years. They were trash. 0 and 17. The only reason they ever broke that loss record is because of Baker Mayfield
You know, BJ.
and Odell Beckham Jr. But I feel like the OBJ situation could have been handled a lot better on Odell's side of the family and stuff. Because his dad could have been like a lot more like mature about the situation instead of like tweeting stuff about Baker and like showing videos of Baker overthrowing him. Because at the same
Yeah,
time, the game of football is a very complicated game. You have to like scan the field with your own eyes. You have a left and right blind spot. And if you get hit from the back, you're technically rendered useless. And you have to trust your heart and your arm and stuff. Like it requires so much precision, trust, and freaking coordination just to make a big play.
yeah. Like when you go you have to stay out of trouble in the field and out the field, most definitely, because like they'll cut you if you get in major trouble, most definitely.
Like Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett. They were both on the Raiders. One of them was under the influence while driving, had a shot of vodka and a little bit of whiskey. The other threatened someone live on Instagram with a gun saying, "Oh, I'm going to you," and stuff like that. And I feel like that could have been handled a lot more maturely.
Yeah, most likely.
But moving
And I'm like,
on.
some people just need,
Wait, what were we saying?
so like some people need to like just like let the storm over wind.
That is a very powerful quote. Would you care to explain what it means to our audience?
Logan?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I got you. So
All right.
like, let's just say that because like Henry Ruggs, I mean the other football player, he could have said that the win over Storm,
Yeah.
but he chose instead to make it to make it more worse than it already is. He's escalating the situation.
And he got arrested a couple weeks ago for like illegal drug possession or like illegal possession of weaponry. I believe one of the two, if not both. It's just sad because like these kids nowadays in the NFL, they're making so much money and they're just throwing their careers away.
Like right, Antonio Brown, he threw his career right for some. A
Just
lot
like
of players did that.
But here's the thing with Antonio Brown. He got into like a lot of vocal arguments with Big Ben and blamed it on his ego. But I feel like it was more so Madden and like the extended payment he got in that year that got to his head, and he was probably thinking, "Oh, I'm the best one in Steelers. I mean, not in Steelers. I'm the best one in Pittsburgh. I'm the best wide receiver in the game. Nobody can catch up to me." Blah blah blah. He let all that money go to his head.
It was that power. It was that power. He was over his pride.
And it's crazy because like a lot of these young receivers just like throw their lives away in their careers just for like
Like,
money or peer pressure. Because peer pressure can get to a lot of people.
yup, a lot.
Because like for instance, let me put you in a situation. So like let's say me and you are hanging out over like at school, blah blah blah. We're at the same bench, ROTC. We're like running, doing the gun sport thing. I forget what it's called all the time. The gun team. They're like spinning one. I forget what it's called. Oh
The
my god.
rifle team,
The what?
the air rifle team.
Yes, the rifle team.
Yes.
All right. So like for instance, we're on the rifle team. We just got off and like we just like finished practice or like I have never been in ROTC before. I sound so stupid. But like for instance,
Yeah.
let's say we finish like practice and stuff. We go to like a bench to cool off and sit down. Somebody walks up to us. They're like, "Hey man, you wanna get like you hey man, just try this drug. Try this drink. It won't give you any harm." That's what starts an addiction.
Yup.
And then eventually it leads to worse, more worse. You end up going to prison. Well, first off, it's juvie if you're in high school, then jail, then you probably go to federal, and it's crazy because like all these people are throwing away their careers for what?
You're for nothing. Like you're digging yourself in a deeper hole that you cannot get out of.
And like, yes, I believe in second chances. I believe Henry Ruggs should get a second chance, as same as Damon Arnett. But here's the thing: if Henry Ruggs gets a second chance and ruins that, no more chances. Damon Arnett got a second
Then
chance after he got cut from the Raiders. Chiefs signed him. He did the same thing again. So I personally believe Damon Arnett should not be allowed back into the NFL. He had two chances, broke it. I mean, heck, give him a third chance. He breaks that third
third
strike,
chances.
kick him out. Beat it. Get out. But yeah, I'm gonna let you say something about it.
Like let's just say like Antonio Brown left the stadium, which he did, and after that he's not coming back. There's really no reason for him to continue playing in the NFL because there's no team that's going to sign him. So might as well All these players that are acting toxic and throwing their careers for nothing, they should go ahead and retire. There's no reason for them to stay in the NFL.
And like part of it, also understandably the frustration, like when you're getting frustrated at your team and stuff, like they say, oh, it's not about the money, it's about the respect. It's the players who are the most respected on the team. They're just doing it for more money, and then once they get that money, like, don't get me wrong, yeah, they do great the first 5 games, but what has happened after those 5 games? They either got
They
injured,
become money hungry.
they become money hungry, injured, and they probably are never in the league again. Deebo Samuel, same thing. I bet you he's not going to be in the league in the next 2 years. Because the life of a wide receiver, how long has Deebo been in the league? Since like 2019, I believe.
Yeah, so that's 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah. Wide receiver's lifespan is like 4 to 5 years. So he's probably statistically only got like one good season left in him.
Yeah.
I mean, but hey, he could be someone like Julian Edelman, who went for like freaking 7 years. Julian Edelman was a really
Yeah.
good receiver. And like it was crazy because like everybody like was like, "Oh, he's a former quarterback that got drafted as a receiver. He's not going to be good." He became one of the key cornerstones of the New England Patriots 2010 run. Like he was one of the
Yeah.
best receivers of the 2010s.
Yep.
Alongside Antonio Brown. All right.
Yeah.
So, give us a second. Kaden, bring up a topic, please.
Alright, I got y'all. I got y'all. Don't worry about that. So like a lot of people been talking about this pup on the pup list in the NFL not able to perform on the list, and I'm like, y'all been like, what is this physically pup list? It means physically unable to perform list. Do you know what that means, Logan?
Um, I think it means like if you're not on the list, your team's not gonna let you play. Because if you're not physically able to perform, then what's the point of them just letting you sit down at your house, letting them pay you?
I don't even know what's the point. That's
Because like
crazy.
here's the thing. So like for instance, let's say I'm in the NFL. I'm one of the highest paid quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, whatever position you want me to be. Lineman, defensive line, cornerback, safety, and I get injured and I put myself on the what was the list called again?
But I'm able to physically unable to perform list.
All right, and then let's say I put myself on the I am physically not able to perform list. What I would do, I would like give them like slight pay, like maybe 10,000. But like I want to give them over 15,000 because like what's the point of paying you all this money if you're not gonna perform for us?
There was the point of you signing with the team.
Like that, and that's like it's sad to see people like go down these paths, but at the same time, it's not because like they did indeed end up digging themselves in that hole.
Right. I am
But
like, come on, man. I
um,
can't like, come on, man, y'all. Y'all can't be doing this now. Can't.
yeah. So you've heard of COVID? I mean,
Another
everybody
topic.
has.
Another topic.
You've
Okay. Another
we've all
topic.
heard of COVID, right? I mean, unless you've been living under a
Yes.
rock or a time traveler. Let's talk about COVID-19 real quick.
Yes.
All right. So a lot of cases are starting to resprout because like of the hot weather and like everybody's allergies coming around. Like the more you sneeze, the more germs that come out. I feel like if you're sick or sneezing or coughing, take some medicine like take some cough drops, take some anti-allergic medicine and stay home for a couple days so like you don't get anyone else sick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like our school, they had us wear masks. It was mandatory. Like you couldn't take your mask off unless it was like RTC reasons,
Or
unless you had to
lunch.
eat some.
Yeah,
I guess
like
this year they're gonna do it again this year.
yeah, it's like crazy because like they're making us wear masks at school, which sucks. But at the same time, it's understandable because they don't want anyone else to get sick and stuff like that. But at the
And they
same
going to shut.
time, it's like, what if you have like a medical issue, like where you can't wear a mask and you're like legally required to do that now? It's just, it sucks.
I mean, like, it's optional now. I mean, when they said that it's not mandatory no more. It started to be optional now. But I think they're gonna bring it back this year now due to the allergies and stuff and the COVID-19 and stuff that's coming back around.
Yeah, but I just, I think it's stupid because, freaking, what's it called? Um, in like, give it 5 years tops, we're all going to be getting a COVID-19 vaccination, like the flu, and that thing that one president in a wheelchair had. I think it was Roosevelt, I believe. I don't remember. But,
If you doing Roosevelt,
yeah.
I
Let's move
forgot.
on
Yeah.
to the topic of sports.
Okay.
We got to confront athlete abuse. So, the one of the biggest Jacksonville Jaguars headlines from last year was the kicker getting kicked. Ironic. The kicker getting kicked from Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer said, "You didn't make the effing kick, so I'm gonna effing kick you." Along those lines. I mean, it's sad because like athletes are seen as like glorified people. They're seen as gods. Nothing can happen to them until something does happen. So,
That's most
how
likely
do you
true.
feel about it?
Like when let's just say it's an overtime, right? And and your playoff hopes is on the line with that one game. And after that, you do the kick, it's going nice and true, but it misses. Like people gonna be mad, obviously, because you missed a kick and usually it's going to the playoffs. I'm like, they be like, why would you miss the kick? It was straight through.
I
And
mean,
I'm
it's
like,
like it's not a walk in the park. Like kicking, it takes a lot of years of training. You have to be really good at it. Normal people think that they can make a kick until they're put on the spot on a YouTube video to do it. They're like, "Oh, I can make this kick." Blah blah blah. Someone flies them out to a football field. They miss the kick.
wow, like Darman says, you never judge someone when you walk in their shoes.
Amen. Amen. I
Amen.
don't know who Man Dar is. I'm just kidding. I know who Darman is. I don't really watch him a lot, but that's one of the quotes that sticks with me. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. I know people are going to get upset about this. It's a little controversial take. I still believe the Kansas City Chiefs have no shot at winning the AFC West. I don't care what you say. I would
I
rather
believe you.
die than seeing the Chiefs and Raiders at the top of the West. I honestly believe it's going to be the Broncos or the Chargers. Everybody is upset because I'm saying this on TikTok and stuff. But here's the thing. I mean, you can't blame me. The Chiefs suck. They lost. They're losing their best players, and they're like, "Oh, everybody in our receiving corps can make up for that." No, they can't. Tyreek Hill is a transitional talent. He left for the money. Get that through your heads. He didn't stay because he wanted to play. He left because he wanted money, and the Chiefs couldn't
And
provide that. The Dolphins could.
And technically though, they actually wanted a better QB too. Tyreek, he wanted a better QB too because they thought that he thought that Mahomes was not enough for him, and that Tua has better accuracy than Mahomes.
Honestly, if I was Tyreek, I would have gone to New England over Miami. Because in New England, they have a great team. They have Mac Jones, one of the best rookie quarterbacks to ever lace up a pair of cleats. Like in his first year, he had like 4,000 to 3,500 yards, at least 15 touchdowns, maybe 10 interceptions. And they started out 2 and
Made
4.
a player.
They started out 2 and 4, went 10 and 7, and went to the playoffs. And people were like,
As a six
"Oh,
seed,
what were you saying?"
as a six seed, and after that they lost to the Bills in the wild card. That's the
Yeah.
first time that a rookie can go to the playoffs and lose a wild card game. That means that you're actually trying. Like you actually did your best your rookie year.
Yeah, and here's the thing: everybody was upset about Patriots fans were upset about them losing. I wasn't. I was happy they lost because
Me
the
too, man.
Patriots
I'm not gonna
losing
lie.
in the playoffs, you don't see that very often. You
You
don't,
don't.
especially after Tom Brady made the Patriots from a poverty franchise to one of the best teams in the league, the most recognized team in the world, and won six
For 20
Super
years.
Bowls with them.
For almost 20 years.
And that was for almost 20 years. Yeah. And that's crazy because most quarterbacks, like Patrick Mahomes, only have like two Super. Patrick Mahomes, let's be real. Now that he doesn't have Tyreek, somehow, some way they get like Devontae Adams in a trade in the next couple of years. Mahomes probably is not going to win another Super Bowl.
Most likely not because you gotta get through the Bills, the the
The Bills are
who
the
else is
heavy
another team?
favorites for the playoffs because they're the biggest powerhouse. But here's the thing: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. We've seen that this year
True.
with the Chiefs and the Bengals. So I mean, the possibility for the Steelers or the Broncos to beat the Bengals is high because the Broncos got a new quarterback, completely revamped their defense. We are on a good track to the playoffs. I don't even care if we lose in the playoffs. At least we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least y'all had a playoff run in like 67 years. Like the Steelers, they went last year and they lost, but they at least had a playoff run before Ben retired. Like that's effort. Like a lot of people don't end their seasons that way. That
And
effort.
like a lot of quarterbacks can't even end their note on a Super Bowl, which I was personally wanting the Steelers to go just to see Ben retire with his like a second ring. But of course that didn't happen. But what it did happen with was Peyton Manning. He's like really
Tom
the only
Brady.
Tom Brady. He came out of retirement, so does he really count?
No, not really.
No.
If you've doing over 20 years, no.
I feel like if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl this year and then retires, I feel like then we could say he's the GOAT. He retired once. He came back. He wins a Super Bowl, which we all know that's gonna happen. Tom Brady's gonna go get Julio his first. Honestly, I
Yeah.
want the Bucks to win just to see Julio Jones get a ring. Like I don't even care about
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Like Julio Jones stayed in Atlanta when he didn't have to. He took like a pay cut once, but then they started paying him a lot and stuff. And he wanted to leave because he wanted to be in a winning culture. He went to the playoffs with the Titans. We all know what happened. They lost to the
Yeah, they
Bengals.
lost the Bengals.
And
And
I honestly,
I got
all right. I feel like
so
Julio Jones is one of the most hardest working receivers in the league. I feel like he needs to have a Super Bowl before he retires.
yes. And there's the one thing I cannot stand about the Falcons. There's one thing I cannot stand. Because every time they have a game winning no. Every time they have the lead, they always let that other team come back. And I'll be like, oh my God. Why
It's
is the point? What is the point of y'all taking a lead in a game and they know they're gonna come back? Like the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They had a lead 20-3 and that they're gonna let their guard down and see what they can do. And they won in the time. Like, what the heck, man?
like, and that's the thing that everybody in Atlanta was like, they were tweeting at the third quarter, like before it started. They said only 30 minutes left to go until we win our first Super Bowl. I, I feel like all the fans jinxed it when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna win," and then the team themselves, I believe, tweeted in 2016, only 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
That's I But I was kind of happy for Tom Brady that night because his mom defeated cancer and stuff, and he won it for her. So, like,
Yes.
that's a rare Brady W. Brady, I
Yeah.
mean, let's be real. We hate on the man a lot, but he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Yeah. I was crying that like I was not gonna lie. I was crying that night, man. When his mom beat the cancer, I was crying that night. I was
And
crying
then
with joy.
And then here's the thing, not even 25 minutes later, his jersey got stolen. That was
Oh yeah, that
crazy.
did happen.
And then it was listed as like $500,000.
Whoa.
And the dude who stole it had Von Miller's like Super Bowl 50 helmet and stuff. I don't know if you guys want to go look up the investigation and stuff. You guys can, but of course, if you guys want to follow us on TikTok, that's After the Dark Podcast, and After the Dark Podcast on TikTok. And if you guys want to
Yes,
follow our Instagram, it's After the Dark Podcast. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.
alrighty, y'all. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all on Wednesday.